The third episode of Fionna and Cake Season 2 could be the best episode of the season so far. Not only is the lore getting even better and more expansive, but we keep getting brief callbacks to niche episodes and cute character moments that flesh out the OG show even more. I'm somehow so excited for how this season is going to play out, but at the same time, extremely scared in case the ending falls flat. Here's a complete breakdown of the Lion of Embers. It begins with a scene of Fionna and Cake before their world was stripped of magic. They're going against Ice Queen, much like we saw in the first episode back in the OG show, but this time she's kidnapped Flame Prince. With ease, Fionna tosses Ice Queen's ass and then saves him. She then kisses him to wake him up, just like Finn did in Burning Low, when she was deprived of oxygen. Interestingly, Fionna can touch him without combusting into flames, whereas Finn had to cover himself in foil just so he could hug her. After he gets up, the two escape, and it transitions to the mundane human world. Fionna bumps into Felix, the human version of Flame Prince, but she's late for something and keeps running. It's clear this moment isn't taking place in the present day, but sometime in the past, just before she and him start dating. We know this because Cake is a regular cat here. Trust, the amount of lore the Flame characters get in this episode is wild. In the present, Fionna and the others decide to create a fundraiser to try and buy the sweet spot from Queenie. All the while, Huntress Wizard, now just a sprout, watches on trying to get some water. Baby Finn then approaches her, and it looks like he's about to eat her, when Fionna picks him up. And guess who's back, motherfucker? It's Prismo and the Cosmic Owl. But it's not just Prismo, Kumail Nanjiani is back voicing him. I missed the warmth and coziness his voice brought to the role. Cosmic Owl is now voiced by Frank Collison, according to IMDb, not Michael Emmett Walsh. Rest in peace to one of the goats. It turns out these guys were betting on whether Baby Finn would eat Huntress Wizard. We can also notice this weird static that keeps occurring on Prismo's face. I'm sure this will be important later because we see it at the end of the episode as well. What if his old man form is waking up? Not likely, but we'll see. Scarab then starts asking the real questions.
What are you doing, Prismo? Why are you letting this crossover slide?
And Prismo responds that it's not in their jurisdiction, and he gives us a huge lore bombshell. He says the Huntress Wizard was brought to Fionna and Cake's universe by something beyond the multiverse. He shows us that alongside the multiverse, we see a parallel web of plants strung together. This reinforces the connection many people pointed out in the previous episode, that the place we saw Huntress Wizard enter is like Yggdrasil, the world tree that connects the 9 realms in Norse mythology. And Scarab says exactly what I was thinking.
But the green stuff! I have so many questions.
All the while, Cosmic Owl leaves because he has to fulfill someone's croak dream. He looks extremely depressed, which will either be expanded upon later or just a cute callback to how he's always been a depressive figure. We then cut to PB, Marceline, and Simon running all sorts of tests to find a cure for Finn. We learn that the poison is killing him, but also somehow keeping him alive. Now that we know that this was caused by a tree that connects to something beyond the multiverse, Finn's complex near-death coma is 100% justified. We then see a bunch of the princesses in the land of Ooo rushing to the Candy Kingdom to try and wake up Finn by giving him a true love's kiss. These princesses have always been horny for Finn, even when he was 12. At least Adventure Time's consistent. I don't know, man. Things get even weirder, by the way. Marceline then suggests giving the True Love's Kiss thing a try, since they're all out of options. Then we get a cute moment between her and PB.
A kiss can't bring somebody back from the brink of death.
That's not what you told me last night.
I did say that.
It's refreshing to see the less serious and cute side to PB's character, even if it's only brief. Extremely wholesome. Later, we see Wildberry Princess try, but it doesn't work. Then Hot Dog Princess gives it a go, and what the hell is this? At least the characters are self-aware in how effed up the entire situation is. But then we get a surprise appearance from someone we haven't seen in a long time, Flame Princess. She gives us an even bigger lore bombshell.
You know, I really did love you.
Insane reveal given what he did in the OG show. But then again, they were kids back then, and now they've all matured. Something clearly must have happened between the ending of Come Along With Me and now to warrant this. Or maybe it's the whole Ross and Rachel thing.
You know what, hey, you're the one who ended it, remember?
Yeah, because I was mad at you, not because I stopped loving you.
Anywho, I was shocked to hear that, and I'm sure every Adventure Time fan was too. Before I continue with that, let's go back to what's going on with Fionna and Cake. Fionna bumps into Felix, and the two flirt before he invites her to the club party where he'll be playing his newest single. She agrees, despite her just having a cute moment with Hunter. And what can you say? It's different when they're an old flame.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
So she tells Cake, and she brings along Mcron to the club. Needless to say, it's clearly not any of their vibes. We also see that the announcer is wearing a shirt with the name Groff on it. Could this be Betty's gender swap version? Cake then realizes why Fionna even came to the party. She reveals that Felix broke up with Fionna over text. Apparently, they dated for a few months, and according to Fionna,
he only broke up with me because his feelings were getting too real, and he was afraid. Our souls are connected. I can't explain it, but I know there's something there.
Okay, so we can take what Fiona's saying as her just being infatuated, but given what Flame Princess says to Finn in this episode, there could be some truth here. Then Fiona sees Felix calling her up on stage, and it turns out he was actually calling this other girl named Fennel. Now at first I was like, who the hell is this girl and why does she look like Fiona? I'm surprised it took me so long to realize that this is the gender swap version of Fern the human. I wonder if she's got crazy lore or if this is just a cute gag. So Fiona gets drunk, goes over to Hunter's place, and tells him about how Felix chose some other girl who looked exactly like her. He then says,
Fennel's actually really cool.
if only more people in the OG universe said that about Fern, maybe he wouldn't have gone down such a dark path. Because Hunter's not a freak, he does not take advantage of her and even offers to walk her home. It's clear from the scene alone that these two are going to end up together, and she's not going to end up with Huntress Wizard. If I'm wrong, I'll be so pissed for my boy Finn. There's also a blink and you'll miss it moment where for a split second, Hunter's face turns into the Winter King's face from season 1. In the first episode of this season, we learn that Fiona is still carrying that trauma from that dimension. So when she's upset about Felix's betrayal in this episode, it also brings up the deeper, lingering sadness that she still feels over how the Winter King deceived her. We also witness a very important scene with Huntress Wizard. She falls asleep and enters her astral form. For a few seconds, she's shown in the same astral dimension Finn travels to in the episode still. Even more confirmation that these two are meant for each other. But then it transitions to that pattern we saw when Finn met the Spirit Warrior for the first time. Huntress Wizard sees who she thinks is the Spirit Warrior and asks him how to get back. He responds with extremely vague and symbolic advice.
What do you call this? Follow the beat to the roots. I use this to get underground. A broken tool seeks the flame.
Okay, after seeing this, it's clear this guy isn't the Spirit Warrior, but in fact, the Dream Warrior. Now, what's the difference? See, in the episode Who Would Win, back in season 4 of the OG show, Finn and Jake want to beat this guy called the Farm in a fight, but their asses get tossed. They then fall asleep and meet the Dream Warrior, who gives them extremely vague instructions on how to beat the farm.
I have cheap cars. My cars are cheap, but they drive bad when I turn out the lights. These sweatpants have another name. 2 shiny golden apples, ripe enough to bite.
Finn and Jake then realize that the Dream Warrior was telling them to use cheap tactics, like blinding him, pulling down his pants, and well, this. Then later in season 7, Finn meets the Spirit Warrior, who in the show is never outright stated to be Dream Warrior. But because of how similar they look and act, we all kind of just accepted them as the same person. Who she meets here is probably the Dream Warrior because of how vague his advice is and the fact that he's blue. I don't know if later on in the season we'll get an answer as to whether these two are the same person or maybe they're just brothers, but it's something I wanted to mention. Fiona then arrives in her emotional and drunken state before she begins crying into the pot. A teardrop lands on Huntress and she wakes up. What the Dream Warrior said to Huntress Wizard could have an infinite number of meanings, and we'll see how she interprets it in the next episode, but here's my take.
Follow the beat to the roots.
I think what he means by this is that she needs to listen to her heartbeat and go back to her roots, aka her past. We'll probably see memories of her time after she became a green wizard and what caused her to drift away from the Spirit Warrior. This realization will cause her to get back to the Yggdrasil tree realm. Or he could mean roots literally, as in she needs to spread them underground to grow. The broken tool could symbolize Fiona, especially since he says,
a broken tool seeks the flame.
The flame refers to Felix, and she's left heartbroken after pursuing him. So essentially, he's telling Huntress Wizard that Fiona is the key to getting back home. Let me know if you guys have other interpretations of this. Either way, you guys know this is my bread and butter, so it's unbelievably refreshing to analyze new Adventure Time scenes. When we cut back to Finn and the rest, we see that he's still in a coma, and Flame Princess's kiss didn't work. But then we hear this.
Well, Phoebe, guess you weren't the one.
It was a long shot. I am seeing someone else now.
Get out! Who is it?
That's pretty huge. I doubt it's still Cinnamon Bun, so who could it be? Well, if DJ Flame is with Fennel, does that mean that Flame Princess is with Fern? Well, fat chance, since at this point in the show, he's a tree. But they clearly left this vague so losers like me can theorize. Let me know down below what you guys think and if I'm missing an obvious candidate. After this, PB sees the Enchiridion drop from Simon, and she tells the princesses that there's one more thing they can all do. Most likely, she's gonna use their gems to open a gateway to the multiverse, just like the Lich had done when he tricked Finn and Jake back in season 4. Perhaps they'll head to Prismo's time room and try and wish for Finn to get cured, and he can't help Finn because his poison was born from something beyond the multiverse. It's something beyond his power. The episode ends with Big Destiny from the Farm World dimension having a croak dream and getting killed by his own son. When he wakes up, that premonition comes to pass because the Cosmic Owl was there. They just keep teasing us with Farm World Finn's appearance. Speaking of him, I've heard a lot of people talk about the idea that when Huntress Wizard eventually meets Farm World Finn, he will get a glimpse of his late wife. When I heard that, I immediately went back to Farm World Finn's episode in the first season. We are never given the name of his wife or even seen her. We just know that Finn and his family eat the same soup that she was cooking the day she died. We see his daughter Bonnie, his son Jay, and this guy. And would you look at that, he's got green eyes. Maybe he inherited it from his mother. And we never hear his name. He's got other kids too, sure, but the way that kid is designed, it has to be intentional. If this turns out to be true and he does have a sad but brief reaction to seeing a different version of his wife, it'll make Farmworld Finn possibly the most tragic version of him we've seen, arguably more than Fern. I will commend the writers even more. I'm a sucker for when small details from past episodes are overlooked by fans but then expanded upon later. Overall, this might be my favorite episode of the season so far. The small character moments, the fact that Kumail Nanjiani is back as Prismo, and the fact that the lore keeps getting crazier every week. I stand by my claim that it's shaping to be one of the best pieces of Adventure Time media we've gotten. I truly hope it sticks the landing. Be sure to subscribe as I'll be covering episodes as they come out week to week. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and comment below some theories or some things that you noticed when you were watching this episode. Consider supporting me on Patreon for early access, and I want to thank you for watching.